How real are the words of Jesus' disciples today? We don't know the way. They don't know the way. They say that at the Last Supper as Jesus will leave them. The COVID virus has raised that question everywhere. We don't know the way. Who knows the way to deal with this virus? Top scientists are puzzled. The smartest social and economic experts struggle for answers. Political leaders are suddenly humble as they face a world so hard to figure out. We don't know the way. Human wisdom has been brought to its knees. We realize how vulnerable we are. I was watching a documentary on Rembrandt this week. The great artist completed his first painting at 19 years old. It was the conversion of the Ethiopian eunuch, an African official baptized by St. Paul, who brought the faith to Africa, the Acts of the Apostles says. The story in Acts, like so many of its stories, doesn't spell out the details of how God's Spirit was going to bring this about. Like so many stories in Acts, it promises the gospel will reach the ends of the earth, but it doesn't tell you how and when. Antwerp in the 16th century, when Rembrandt lived there, was the Dutch trading center, a world trading center. Its ships were sailing for the ends of the earth. New York City, New Amsterdam was one of its destinations. Now, did the artist see the story from the Acts of the Apostles as something beyond expanding Dutch economic power? Another world was coming into being. A world of other people, of other nations, other mansions that could hardly be imagined. The story of the African official, like so many of the stories in the Acts of the Apostles, gives us hints of what's to come as God's mysterious plan unfolds in time and place. Recently, Pope Francis recommended we read the Acts of the Apostles to help us to see the way to the future. We need to do that now, when the future is so mysterious and so uncertain. Jesus says to his disciples and to us today, do not let your hearts be troubled. Have faith in God. Have also faith in me. In my Father's house there's many dwelling places. If there were not, I would have told you, I'm going to a place for you. We can hardly say how God's plan has begun. We can hardly see this world that is before us and the world that is to come. We've only begun to see the dimensions of our Father's house. So that means keeping working, each of us and all of us, to find the way, to use our minds to see what to do, but also to recognize God's way, God's plan, bigger than ours. God's house is bigger than anything we think we can build.